I got a phone call recently from a guy in the GTA, and he said,
Ryan, I purchased a brand new home for $1.2 million, and now my mortgage rate has gone up, and I need to sell it.
I said, I'm sorry to hear that. Where's it located?
Well, that's the thing.
Guys, this guy bought a house for $1.2 million in 2022 in the bad part of town, and now it's worth like $750, maybe $800. By the way, he gave me permission to share this story with you. I'm not just being a jerk. But I asked him why did he buy the house in that part of town, and this is what he said. I used a realtor from Brampton to sell me the house in London. She had no idea that it was a bad part of town. Using an out-of-town realtor is the first mistake people make when moving to the London area. And I know what you're thinking, like, of course, he's gonna say that. He's a realtor in London. You don't have to use me. You can use any of the realtors in London. There's like 3,000 of them. Take your pick. In London, it can change almost street by street, okay? For example, like look at this street right here. This is like a little street in the East End, which typically East End isn't good, but this area is quiet and safe. There's a nice community feel here. No one drives down this street except for people that live there. However, like 2-minute drive away, completely different story. It's a much more rough area of town. Which, by the way, there is an area with extremely high violent crime in London. And there's a couple areas that almost have no crime. Almost have no crime. I will tell you about those later in the video. But my point is, if your realtor is studying my videos to help sell you a house, you're in trouble, okay? They can still get paid, okay? Just ask them to refer you to a local agent, all right? And if you do want to use my expertise, that's my phone number right there on the screen. People call me constantly moving to London from other areas of Canada. You can shoot me a text first and we can start the conversation. You can my phone rings daily with people and I know this city really, really well. So feel free to reach out and we can just kind of take it from there. It is vitally important when buying a house that you understand what school district you're in, how that might affect the value of the home as well. Or the future value, because listen, you might not even have kids right now, but the school district that you're in will not only affect the price today, but the future value of your home. And if you want the home to grow in value, you need to make sure it's in a nice, safe area with great schools. Let me show you something. So let's say you wanted to buy a home in Hyde Park area, which is a decent Northwest End area. The main school for this area is Emily Carr Public School, which is okay. Like the rating is usually around average. Right now, I just checked, it's just a little bit below average, actually. However, this is the school boundaries, okay? You'll notice there are some streets that aren't in this school district. They're actually going to go to the new Northwest Public School that they're just building right now in Fox Hollow, which is also close by. Now, there's no rating for the Fox Hollow School yet because it's opening in September, but it's bound to be a pretty good school and state-of-the-art, just built. So if you buy a home on Freeport or Transbury, you're going to a different school than your neighbors on Black Acres. Okay, let's look at a more extreme example. This house right here is a brick bungalow from the 1960s located in the East End, which again, usually isn't great, but this street's nice, okay? This sold for $534,000, but the school district is Tweedsmuir Public School, which has a 2.6 out of 10 rating from the Fraser Institute. That's not good. Now, this house right here looks similar. It's also 1960s. It's in Byron, and it sold for $600,000, so 65 grand more. And that's not nothing. I get that. However, you're getting into a school district that is a 7 out of 10 rating. Byron Northview. It's very good school. Plus, the house has a massive yard, and Byron is considered a great spot in London that will likely receive great property value growth through the years, more than you'd find in the other neighborhood on the East End. You can check out all this information for yourself when you're shopping for a home. I will link the links down below for the Thames Valley School Board and the Fraser Institute, which gives you the ratings. Also, if you want to keep an eye on property values in London, in and around London, I do send out a video market update once every few months to a private list of people once there's something interesting to tell them about. You can get onto that private list down below. You'll see the link. Just click it, put in your email and your name, and you'll receive them when I send them out. Again, it's not every month. It's just when there's something interesting. Could be 2 months in a row. Could be 4 or 5 months before videos. All right? Mistake number 3 is moving downtown. Listen, I see this a lot with like young people or like med students at the university. They like to like buy a condo downtown or rent a condo downtown. It's a bad idea. All right? Downtown is quickly becoming like a cesspool. The homeless situation is getting out of control, and the crime, violent crime. Like, look at these articles, okay? So I put into Google, knife downtown London. And all of these articles are from July of 2020. This is 1 month's worth of work for the people that like getting stabby downtown, all right? It's not a place I would recommend that you buy a condo or live. You might have a fancy new building with a pool and great view and all this stuff, but you're still gonna have to go down onto the street at some point and walk down to a restaurant or whatever, and it's not a great area. Meanwhile, if you just on your map, like drive 5 minutes north, you get to like Masonville and places where there really isn't much of any crime. They're very, very safe areas. And obviously you're not gonna buy a $1.5 million house if you're going to the school. But there are other apartment buildings and stuff and condos all around here, up Richmond and up into the North End, where it might not be as brand new of a building, but you're in a much better area that you're gonna have a much better quality of life, I think. Mistake number 4 is ignoring the small towns, okay? So all around London, there's these small little towns that offer cheaper homes and a great quality of life. And some people don't like a sleepy little town, which is fine because some of these are more of like a suburb of London, okay? Like, for example, Ilderton. I've spoken of Ilderton before. It's 15 minutes north of London. There's nothing much here but houses. However, you're 12 to 15 minutes from the biggest mall in our county, from grocery stores, from Walmarts, from hardware stores and Canadian Tire, all that stuff. In Ilderton, you're closer to London than other parts of London, okay? And you get like kind of a small town vibe that goes along with it. Ilderton is also incredibly safe. I asked AI to give me a list of like reported crime in Ilderton, and the most recent one was 2 years ago and it was just a traffic accident, okay? If you go back far enough, yeah, you do find some crime like anywhere in the world, but it is incredibly safe, much safer than London. Now, if you don't mind being a little further away, there's also St. Thomas, which is on the south part away from London, a little bit closer to Port Stanley Beach. Town of like 45,000 people, wonderful little town, and houses on there are on average almost 100 grand cheaper than they are in London. So that's another option for you as well. The next mistake is trying to use a house to sell condition. Listen, nobody wants to accept your offer with a house to sell condition. It just doesn't work, okay? In a market like this, where the economy's down and it's slow, the sellers look at your offer and they go, it's a non-offer. Like, you're gonna buy our house if you sell your house? We don't even know if you're ever gonna sell your house. And if you do, might take you 6 months. They don't want to accept your offer. And then, if the market gets better, they're still not going to accept it because surely somebody else will give us a better offer that isn't conditional upon you selling your house. There's no market out there where these are common. It just doesn't work, okay? Maybe you get lucky one day, but it's just not the best way to approach buying a house. The better way to do it is to list your house for sale, and you're going to ask every buyer you want 60 or 90 days to close. And then you've got, 3 months to look for a new home in London. And what I know that still sounds scary, but what I find is most people have lots of time left over if they take this route. They usually find a house in like 30 days. Next mistake is the wrong location. And listen, in my last video, this one, I highlighted Old East Village, which is this cute, charming little village with historic homes and lots of charm. However, it's like 4 streets from a homeless camp. There are weird little nooks and crannies all over this city. It can turn from awesome to not so awesome real quick. For example, look at this. Over on the north side, there's this small, isolated little neighborhood called Cedar Hollow, and it's got pretty affordable homes for the north side of London, and they have wonderful parks nearby and walking trails, and there's a really good school walking distance from all these homes. But then down here, across the river, not even close to being as nice. This is the Huron Heights neighborhood, and it's a different school district, different age of homes. It's different in so many ways. If you don't know London, you need to familiarize yourself with these things or hire a real estate agent that already knows them. If you need my expertise, that's my phone number right there on the screen. I help people move to London constantly. I know this city so well. I grew up here. Give me a call or shoot me a text sometime. If you're planning to make the move down and purchase a home in the London area, I can give you a hand. Okay, last but not least is not having a job lined up before you move to London. And this goes for any city. I am shocked at the amount of people that move to London and then go, okay, now I got to start handing out resumes. That's risky. First of all, you're not going to be able to get even renting an apartment without a employment letter. And second of all, you're not going to be able to get a mortgage unless you're already employed somewhere. So I don't know what the plan of action is there. Also, we're in a recession. Every city in Canada, I wouldn't move there without first having a job. You can apply virtually from wherever you live right now. So keep that in mind. Don't pick up and move to a new city without first having a job lined up in the place you're going.